What up? What up, YouTube, internet, Instagram, Truth Social,
The Blaze,
man.
Daily Wire. We are exclusive to Daily Wire now.
Welcome to National Prayer Breakfast, a podcast with a name that is so good that we've been trying to live up to it ever since we came up with it. Keith, how have you been?
I've been all right. You know, pretty good for February.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
You caught up on The Last of Us yet?
No.
Really? You haven't watched the most recent?
No, I was watching a Bollywood film.
A Bollywood film?
RRR.
RRR?
RRR, yeah.
What's that all about?
It's like an action film about saving a girl that's been kidnapped by the British, like the British colonizers.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting though. Yeah, you know, it has like the Bollywood, like over-the-top action sequences that you come to expect, but they also they have like dance breaks and like singing throughout the film.
Okay.
So it's like an action film with like dance numbers.
That's fun.
It kind of in a way that like, you know, like Men in Black or whatever, like you would have Will Smith doing his rap at the end or whatever.
Sure.
Wild Wild West.
We like a good mix of you know, like high octane, but then you know, like theatrical and gay type of thing.
Yes.
Football is very much that way.
Yeah.
You know, if you watch a football game, you'll see them like crying during the national anthem, and then they'll start like pointing to God and stuff, and then as soon as they score a touchdown, they break into like some sort of like line dance.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
That TikTok dance. That was the original TikTok dance.
Which, I mean, I'm judging based on me watching the Super Bowl like every other year. Mm-hmm. This year I watched with Keith and his husband. Keith, you and your husband have been very hospitable hosts to me lately. The other day I was feeling down in the dumps and I went over to Keith's to attempt to write some comedy material. And Keith, while I was writing it, he turned on the Brendan Schaub special, Gringo Papi, and left the room. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching this, it's on, you know, on YouTube. It's on this app, so go check out Brendan Schaub, Gringo Papi. Fantastic comedy album. Now, we're going to get into some talks here, but I do have a theme. You're on your phone during the podcast?
I was thinking about looking at the... All right. In my defense, I was thinking about those comments that I read on the Brendan Schaub special.
Oh, yeah.
And I say this with an asterisk right now because no matter what, like anything that I view right now in my current state of mind, like the worst of the worst, I assume that I am exactly that.
Yeah.
Anyone, like, it's everything, anything negative, criminals, stupid people, you know, bad comedy. And I know that it's narcissistic. Keith has let me know many times, you know, that these... that
self-loathing is
narcissistic, yes. But I really am like that right now, no matter anyone. You know, sketchy gas station attendants, which I feel like I'm looking in a mirror.
What's worse about there's the sketchy gas station attendant, but that's the number one job I don't want. You know, like I think I would rather have one of these oil rig jobs that destroys your back permanently. Because the gas station attendants, there's always a sketchy vagrant that is hanging around, flirting with them.
I've thought about that a million
at like
times.
2 a.m. I don't know. I don't have much to say other than that's like the.
Well,
they're just making small talk, and you can tell they kind of would prefer them to leave, but I don't know if you can just ask them to leave. But on one hand, they kind of like the company a little bit, even though it's the worst option. If you could have company, it's the last person you'd want.
Well, dude, so I've been as you know, I've been having like an existential crisis where like I'm like I'm having trouble painting, and I'm having trouble being motivated, and I'm the worst comedian in the world. But I've been thinking about re-entering the workforce, but everything like what you just said about gas station attendants, any career choice or job choice out there has some element that's like that comes to the forefront of my brain. And anything, I'm like, well, that's a deal breaker. There's no way that I could do that.
That's true. Well, so we're gonna get into some talks, and the theme is, as you know, you've been going through a bit. As you know, falling in love solves all problems in your personal life. So I thought maybe we could get you in a new relationship.
There's a person.
I have two characters we're gonna see if we want you to choose from. But first, I wanted to we need to get you the right type of girl. So our first video is gonna help guide us to the type of girl that you need.
Okay, I appreciate that. At this point, I want to say that I don't think that my problem is romance. I don't think.
If I were to go to Asia, where would I go to find a great girlfriend?
I think you should just go to the rural area because they grow them cute and they are not polluted by capitalism because all the major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. How much money you have?
Really?
Yeah, this is like a conservative stand-up comic, I believe.
Perfect. Well, that's exactly who we want advice from.
All right.
If I were to go to Asia, where would I go to find a great girlfriend?
I think you should just go to the rural area because they grow them cute and they are not polluted by capitalism because all the major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. How much money you have?
Really?
What car you drive?
Wow.
The nice Chinese girl in the rural area who grew up raising sheep and cows and feeding pigs and growing corns, they just have big hand and big feet to work. They don't even know they are pretty. And they would just feel very lucky to find a nice man who respect them and love them.
What is it has that been phased out, that phenomenon? Oh, she doesn't even know she's beautiful. How awesome is that? Isn't that just oh, she has no self-worth?
Well, in rural China, apparently not.
What can you explain to me the context of this video? Because the guy I recognized.
He was asking how he could get a girl in China.
Okay.
Or he said if I go to Asia, how should I find a wife or whatever.
Okay.
But
go ahead.
What I like about this is she hits on a good point. Is you don't want a city girl that's has opinions about politics. We want to find you a nice rural, big-footed workhorse that's not gonna have. So her standards are she wants you to be nice to her.
Mm-hmm. Officially.
Yeah. So we've got two.
That's the official narrative.
We're gonna get you a trad wife type, and I've got two candidates.
What does trad mean?
Traditional.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not real into feminism and all these other things that have ruined ruined the world, I guess.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm interested in seeing option 2.
cuffs on my beans, wearing these jeans. Roll Tide, go balls, SEC. Smoking, drinking, fighting, riding races, trackers hard to straighten. Southern Belle, sit right beside us. Damn good day when the fish are biting. Top of water, sinking bobbers. I get these looks from my mama, kick ass from my father. Come on, surviving, we living, stealing hearts with the shitting, grinning. Fried chicken, cat head biscuits, summertime cold beer, sweet smoke brisket.
So,
I see. This is gonna go back to what I was saying before, but I just right now I look at that and I'm like, I wish that I could have that sort of enthusiasm. Like I've had that level of just like delusion and lack of self-awareness, and I fucking miss it so much. I did mushrooms too many times. I think that's the problem.
yeah.
But I just, though that reminds me so much of like that's from where I come from, like rural Northwest Missouri, that was the absolute pinnacle of sexy. Like the cut off shirts, and the tattoos, it's like, oh my God, she's artsy too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like you get the sophistication along with.
Well, she is an artist.
Well, clearly, yeah.
We got some more clips of her, so you can get a good. We want to get a good.
What was she singing about?
At the bar, I had 12, drove home like an idiot. Yeah, I swore that I was sober. Woke up, what the hell happened last night? As soon as I rolled over, my phone was blowing up like a bomb in Vietnam. Son
Like a
of
bomb
a
in
bitch, I didn't mean to send in pics of my mom, but in those beers I had.
This is such an interesting way for music and culture to die. Is just everything is just a preview. Like, how fucking long was that? 10 seconds?
Yeah, there was a lot in there. There was her phone's blowing up like bombs in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was like a real hard as morning wood in the morning, sort of.
Yeah. She said something about sending pics to her mom. I don't know.
That checks out.
Sent her mom nudes or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? That sucks. That's one of my. I feel like that's inevitably. I'm gonna do that on accident at some point.
So
Not that I'm taking
I don't
nudes
know
all the
where
time,
this lady is from, but when I watch these, I'm like, she can't be far.
Yes.
You know, that she has a very. That's like a. I feel like people in the South aren't necessarily like that. Like, that's a very Midwestern, rural.
Oh yeah.
Like, wants to be the South, sort of.
Iowa, possibly.
Right. Do we know her name?
Katie Noelle, it looks like.
Katie
Just from the
Noelle?
TikTok name. Yeah, she looks like a Caitlyn.
Yeah. I was gonna say Kelsey.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Kelsey,
I think
Candace.
we got one more from her. Yeah. Let's.
These roads ain't like home. I've been driving all night long, trying to find somewhere to be, trying to find someone like me, and I can't see. Yeah, I know. Hey, John, swapping road, raised a bad bitch.
Jumped over a bench.
I think she had like a Confederate flag bandana there at the end.
Well, yeah. Can we, Justin? Can we play it back?
These roads ain't like home. I've been driving all night long, trying to find somewhere to be, trying to find someone like me, and I can't see. Yeah, I know. Hey, John, swapping road, raised a bad bitch.
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, we're not gonna look into it, but yeah, I think it was.
That makes things interesting. How do you feel about dating a girl that's occasionally says South will rise again?
I don't know. I don't let.
How do you feel about dating a girl that will casually bring up, they didn't treat slaves as bad as you'd think.
Yeah.
It's your property. You take care of your property.
Yeah. Good old states' rights, Katie.
Yeah. War of Northern Aggression, Katie.
Yeah. Even though she's probably from a Union state. I want to hear her out on that. I don't know. How old do you think this lady is? This is gonna be good. We're gonna have this fucking Irish wolfhound mooing.
Roscoe was like speaking like Chewbacca. Like,
yeah,
that was him giving his answer.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who are listening and not watching, we have a broken Irish wolfhound on the couch.
He's here helping hide my girth.
Yeah,
so
he kind of just like all day.
We've had past podcasts where my dog was barking and throwing herself into a glass window.
Yeah,
because the school bus drove by.
Yeah, I mean, pound for pound, Freya is a horrifying, little terrorist. Whereas he's just pathetic. He's just a bummer,
So are you excited to see contestant number 2?
Yes.
This man brought his daughter on our first date.
This is our So yeah, I forgot we were playing this one. So this is a man. He brought his daughter on the first date.
Mm-hmm. But not like clearly it's just like a staged thing, right?
I'm guessing so. It had a lot of positive reception of this one, but the girl was extremely adorable, which is kind of it makes it seem like this is a good idea when. If you brought a kid that's like throwing shit and like breaking down crying, that wouldn't be a good start.
No, definitely not. I've never experienced that, but I have dated some single moms who introduced their kid to me like
earlier.
Yeah. And it was
You're gonna say
it was
adult.
back like when I was like young too.
What's the worst date you've been on?
All of them have been phenomenal.
Okay.
Every date I've ever had has been good.
I had a friend, he went on a date with a girl at a Waffle House, and she, like, started overdosing, and, like, fell into her plate of, like, Waffle House food. And
What was she overdosing on? Do you know?
Well, I don't think he really knew. Like,
Yeah.
she showed up on things.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one. But, it fits the Waffle House vibe.
For sure. You used to always show me Denny's Fights compilation.
Is Denny's still around?
Denny's is very much still around. I haven't been to a Denny's in a minute, but I went to an IHOP in St. Joe, Missouri, like probably a month or two ago. And it was bleak. It was one of those deals where they were open and everything, but like we went in there, we were the only ones there. There's just like shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And eventually someone like wandered out of the kitchen. It was just like, oh, hey. We were so desperate for food that we didn't give a fuck. But I don't know. Are you? Do you like breakfast food?
Not a whole lot. No.
Yeah.
I think a lot of other countries have superior breakfasts. not quite so syrupy. And I mean, I like eggs.
What do like Chinese people? What do they eat for breakfast?
A lot of times, like rice with like an egg cracked into it. Kind of the rice kind of cooks the egg in like soy sauce.
Okay, I could be into that. I'm not a big egg guy. Justin's a big egg guy. Big egg guy.
Yeah, eggs are awesome.
How expensive are eggs right now? They're like absurd, right?
I think they're like $7 or $8 for like a dozen of them.
I never like I'm always embarrassed to talk about the price of things because my only frame of reference is just the embarrassing shit that I buy.
Yeah, I've gone grocery shopping with you once. It was
Yeah.
all like
Toaster strudels.
it was all like frozen like meals where they're like in little plastic sections.
Yeah, well, I can't bring myself to. Even those are just like that's a lot of steps. You gotta
stab the
you gotta
plastic with a
stab the
fork.
plastic.
Well, let's go on to contestant number 2. She might.
You want to skip the palate cleanser?
Yeah. So she might be a.
Nice looking blonde lady I see right here.
Yeah. She might be a good solution to your grocery issue.
Roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls were closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you've gone it was never an honest word. And that was when I ruled the world.
So thoughts on that?
I would.
Initially,
The only
how
reason I
does
would-
she stack up to the first? Your initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, she stacks up pretty good. I'm still human, you know. But yeah, the only way I would go after a woman like that is if I, wanted support from my family.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, at least we know you guys have music taste in common.
yeah.
She at one point during that video, she like was baking bread and like.
Okay, we gotta. I'm so sorry. We gotta get him away from the microphone.
Bye, Roscoe. At one point during the video, she was like, she'd baked some bread and she was showing it off to the camera. And I have to say, the crumb was pathetic. Like, it was, it was like dense and it looked bad. It was, I think it was meant to be like sourdough. So she needs some work on her. She's not quite the domestic goddess she thinks she is.
No.
But I agree with you. I think she has potential to be the next Mrs. Scarborough.
Yeah. But the thing is, what I need is the opposite. I need to be her, and I need to find a surgeon. Right? That is kind of my only way forward.
I mean, that would be cool. Do you have any of the skills necessary to play that role?
No, the reason I said surgeon is that she needs to make so much money that I can stay home and she can still afford someone to pay for someone to do those duties.
Oh, nice.
We need that much of a buffer.
Well, that is quite the fantasy for even a woman to have that, let alone a male. So I admire your imagination. We got some more videos of her. They're kind of long, so we can stop them, like each video at any point through if you feel you've seen enough.
Welcome back to part 2 of some conventional
need to turn
or
this up a bit.
unconventional things me and my husband do in our marriage. So the first one is I don't leave the house after dark by myself. This is not a control thing. This is a safety thing. I've had a couple encounters and I don't wish to have any more. Along with leaving the house, I always notify my husband when I'm gonna go somewhere and when I arrive. It's safety. Why not, right? And we always share locations with each other. I really recommend the Life 360 app. It notifies you when your partner arrives or leaves, and it notifies you if their battery is low. I love it. Number 2.
Or no, maybe we should discuss that point and pause it. Thoughts?
On the sharing of locations?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never had a successful relationship. So what do you think about that? Like,
honestly, I was kind of more stuck on she doesn't go outside after dark.
oh, right.
On one hand, I guess she's mentioned she'd had some bad experiences, so I understand wanting to avoid it, but she was also seemed very comfortable with that being the norm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what area she's living in, that's a...
Yeah.
But she doesn't mind it. She's like, she's visiting a friend and she's like, oh no, I lost track of time. The sun's coming down. It's almost raping hour. She's just like, she has no issue. She doesn't see that as like a problem. She's just like, better get home before the raping starts.
Yeah. I don't know. She's I'm just like kind of confused at what her. I mean, I guess she seems like the type of influencer that she might appeal to certain types of like, Christian stay-at-home moms or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they want to be like her or more like her or whatever. But it seems like half of it is just people who are probably enraged or, does she have a big following?
I'm not super sure how big of her following is, though she probably has another audience, just guys that are into her body. It is funny that she's into this, like, she's very much like talking about how conservative she is, but then the top button of her blouse is just hanging by a thread. Her breasts are about to burst out.
Yeah.
Again, like with the bread thing, like if you're trying to be like this modest homemaker, I mean, you could do better.
Yeah.
I don't want my friend marrying a whore. Just kidding.
You'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of my dreams for you is that you get with a girl that is such a freak that it's like kind of overwhelming and a little, it's exciting at first for you, but then it's just like too intense.
And I'm like scared. And
you're scared and you have feelings for her, and maybe at one point you cheat on her when she confronts you. Your excuse is like, I needed to feel safe. I was seeking the safety in the arms of another woman. You're too scary.
Right.
You're too much of a freak. Should we continue this video? Let's see if she has any other...
Yeah, let's see what she has to say.
I don't do opposite sex friendships. I don't think a woman needs to have a male best friend. Why? Any companionship or company that I need, I can get from another woman. Number 3, and this one's gonna ruffle some feathers. I submit and I serve my husband. This is a biblical thing, so don't twist this into something that it's not. It is a blessing to be my husband's helpmate, and the Bible has the man of the household, not the woman, so he leads. Number 4, we don't involve any outsiders or family members into our disputes. This is important because arguments, disagreements, whatever, need to stay within the marriage, and when you...
I kind of think that's not unconventional, right?
Issues, and most likely...
I mean, it sounds a little bit fascist to me, but
I think that's a pretty good rule. I mean, I don't know. She probably wouldn't go to a marriage counselor. Like, she would probably just like see that as an issue.
Right.
But it's probably good that she doesn't. Maybe she means like she doesn't vent to her friends about her husband or something, which I think is a good thing, probably.
yeah, I can kind of see your point there, but it's also a red flag when it's like, don't talk to anyone about, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or it can be.
Yeah. Well, if it's like a physical thing, then that's another story.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, should we finish this one up?
Yeah, I mean, she also, like, I mean, she was, it is, like, kind of like, well, you're talking about biblical stuff, but you are kind of not very modest. I kind of see your point there, because she mentioned a Bible verse, so she's like a Christian influencer.
Yeah, she's trying to play both sides here.
Do you think those are fake?
I would have no fucking idea, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Justin, what do you think?
I'm going fake.
I think they're fake. I think they're too good to be true.
Which is fine.
It is fine. It's better. Yeah.
Is that biblically?
Yes, because it's.
As long as you don't reduce them, like the
Yeah.
the Bible is firm on breast reduction.
Yes.
It's all very much like Andrew Tate takes, just like a woman saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
People choose sides, and you just don't want that. Number 5, I take my husband's preferences into consideration. So with my hair, my clothes, I like to wear the things that he likes. And typically he's not going to like something that is so outside of my norm. He's going to like the things that he sees me happiest in, and that's usually pink and bright colors. And he loves my hair more naturally curly, so that's what I do most of the time. A lot of the comments in my other video, people were asking, what does he do for me? And I just want to correct you guys on something. A lot of Western women don't sit here and think, what can I do to make my man happy? No, they think, what is he gonna do to make me happy? You guys don't understand the benefits that you reap when you think about your partner before yourself. So let me know what you guys think, and comment what other videos you want to see on traditional marriage.
So, she's still in the lead over the country rapper.
Yeah, but I mean, just because, like, physically.
Let's play the last video of this girl. See if that changes anything for you.
Yeah, let's go.
Hi TikTok. So I wanted to come on here and talk about some unconventional things me and my husband do in our marriage that really strengthen our marriage. So first one is, I do not go to the gym without my husband, ever. I did this when I was single, and when I tell you the amount of people, men, that walk up to me in the gym, it's countless. And a married woman, whether she has a ring on her finger or not, men just sometimes don't follow those boundaries, and it's not about trust, it's about removing yourself from a situation before it can even happen. Like, I just wait for him and I go to the gym with him, and he's like my trainer. Number 2,
She say my trainer?
does not have to lift a finger when he is at home, because if he's the breadwinner and he goes out, the provider, he works, and he works long hours, and he works a very physical labor job. He's an electrician, so he does not need to come home and clean up. He doesn't need to help me cook. But there are times when he just wants to help me every now and then, and that is very welcomed, but he absolutely does not have to. As a homemaker, I think it is important that the woman has the house clean,
I think I want to
hot meal on the table for her husband.
This is another thing. She said this is unconventional, but wouldn't most people agree that if she doesn't have a job and like she doesn't have children, like, I mean, what else are you gonna do besides cook dinner? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, Keith. Turns out gender roles are valid. I think you're exactly right, Keith.
We're sold.
Yeah, it's just confusing what she's doing right now. She's just like, she's just kind of like reading off like the Constitution of like, these are the laws that we have set into place, and that's whatever. That's how I'm so happy.
Well, we wish her the best. It seems like she's anticipating like a backlash to the things she's saying, but or I don't know. I'm sure there are people that are pissed in the comments, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what did she expect people to say to, like, you know, her thing about her husband when he gets off work, like, relaxes, like, no, you should lay in bed all day, and when he gets off work, he should cook you dinner and be your slave, you know, like.
Right. Yeah, I mean, all of these things, all of these TikToks are just, I mean, they're just, it's just so pointless. It's weird that, like, we're worried about China, like, using TikTok to, like, spy on us or do, whatever they're accused of doing, when actually it's just, like, it's just us, like, frying our own fucking brains with this shit. Which I'm glad that we can give it more airtime with this show.
We can contribute to the frying of the youth brains.
Yeah. My phone's ringing. I'm gonna check that. Is that okay, Keith?
Yeah, that's, I suppose. Well, that concludes our talk section, Aaron.
Really?
Yeah. So you're going with good old number 2 here? I don't know if I got her name, but...
Yeah, I'm going with the trad. Or is that's who you wanted, or that's who you were referring to as the trad wife?
Well, they're both kind of trad wives. One was a little more trashy, maybe a little more fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe those days are a bit behind you anyway. One day, in the past, you might have gone for the rap girl.
Yeah. I have a 10-year plan to start dating again. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll check in with them when I'm ready.
Are you gonna be an apps guy, or were you ever?
I was an apps guy.
You had success with that
for decades.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say. Well, yeah. I mean, like I had success. I found relationships.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, like all the relationships I've had. Well, no, not all of them really, but yeah, the longest ones were from apps, you know, the premium versions.
People shit on the app dating thing, but I don't know if it was like dating was better or easier before. I think it was always hard and...
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that bothers me about the apps and why I will never use them again is that I just get so turned off by when I just feel like I'm being fucking coerced into spending money and feeling shitty about myself and all that because like the apps, the way they work or the way they did when I was on them is they show you like just like bullshit for a long time, and then they'll send you like if you have like the free version, it'll send you like a blurry picture of someone, and you're like you're looking at it closely, and you're like, oh wait, that person likes me, but it's behind a paywall. Like, is it worth it or whatever?
My God.
And then if you're at your worst, like you'll be like, fuck it, I'll see. Like, you know, this is my life or whatever. And then...
so it seems the apps have gotten worse lately.
So they're worse now? Because I haven't been on a dating app since...
well, they didn't used to be so paywall-y, right? Like...
I think they were always kind of geared towards, you know, turning a profit that way. But And they also, it's like everything. Like they not only, it wasn't enough to just have the paywall behind like the premium version of it. Like they also had fucking ads like in the middle of it too, which.
I have heard there's like a lot of like people, you know, like girls promoting their OnlyFans and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they'll match with you to like, you know, try and get you to subscribe.
Yeah.
That would be, I can imagine that's very, you know, that would push some guys to get a gun and massacre people.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't do the apps anymore. I saw myself on a path, and I nipped it in the bud. Like she said, it's better to just not even put myself in that situation where that could happen.
She said she doesn't go to the gym without her husband because guys hit on her there. So maybe that's like, the gym is probably not the place women would prefer to be picked up.
Yeah, well,
what are the public spaces?
I've never been in a gym. I really haven't. I went to my apartment gym one time back, like when I had an apartment. But yeah, I've never been, you know, in an actual Planet Fitness or whatever. What'd you say? What are the actual spaces that?
Yeah, like where are people going to meet?
I mean, if you're a young person and you drink and stuff, I feel like bars are just whatever. And then from there, like if you're whatever type of person you are, like if you're a young professional type, you'd go to like Power and Light District or somewhere expensive and loud like that. And then there's like whatever, dive bars and all kinds of shit.
Well, that all sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's pointless. How'd you meet your husband?
Grindr.
Grindr? Yeah.
Grindr is better than the straight apps. It's grosser and shadier, but not... Well, it's just more honest, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of the Tinder, like the swiping thing. There's people like they're literally just there for the validation. But people on Grindr they're always up front and like, I want to fuck right now.
Yeah.
This type of person, you know, they'll say like, no Asians, no fats, no feminine.
Yeah.
They don't waste your time.
Yeah. What was your Grindr profile like? Was it, you know?
Like you just say what you want. You just say what you are. You just give your height, weight, dick size. You just you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to put that on there, but you know, you just say I'm a top, I'm a bottom, I'm into both. And then you know, people would say things. People would give like their commentary a little bit in the bio sometimes, like, "Don't fucking talk to me if I don't know." It's a brutal place, but it seems like the straight dating apps have a lot of like, I don't know, just like bullshit.
Yeah, the things that you find on, or that you used to find, I don't know if it's still like this, but there were just like tropes or whatever. And it's like a lot of them would say like, yeah, if my dog doesn't like you, we can't date or whatever.
Yeah. Well, this is like a larger thing about like how straight people date, where like their bios will have like, here's the bands I'm into, and which is fine. Like it's cool to have shared interests, but gays tend to just like, here's what I want to fuck.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm attracted to. I could care less about anything else about you. Maybe I'll like that later.
It's a better system.
It is a better system because like the things people bond over, like the shared interests, a lot of times it's things everyone sort of likes, you know, like I like coffee, I like pasta.
Right.
My favorite Leona Lewis song is Bleeding Love.
Yeah.
My favorite Christmas songs, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
These are important things.
What was your profile like on your app?
It definitely like
Were you holding up a fish, or were you those guys? Dark silhouette in a corner, or no? You probably did a comedy.
Comedy,
You
yeah.
did photos of you on a stage.
Comedian, painter, like whatever. You know, I just put the things that I am.
The photo of you on the stage, that is probably a good move. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, comedy is. I feel like comedy's so popular now that like they know that there's a good chance that you're just like a fucking open mic or like whatever, that you're not successful or famous or anything like that. But you also, you don't want to just be like, hey, I have no passions or whatever, because outside of comedy and art, as you know, I don't care about anything. Hey, I'm a nihilist. I have no. I don't care about anything.
Yeah, that's a. You don't want to lead with that. That I have seen things like that on people like who are depressed and like venting about it, or like, I don't know. That was like a common trope you would see of like, I fucking hate this app and I just like, I hate everyone on here, and like, it's like no one, everyone agrees with that, but like no one wants to talk to someone that's like bitching,
right?
Like is their first,
right? Yeah, sounds like you probably shouldn't have the app.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to talk about this week? A lot of news stories. There's been Chinese balloons. I know nothing about that. But did you follow the Chinese balloons?
I casually followed it because it was a big like thing on Fox News, like them being like, this is a weak president or whatever, and then Biden was like, I'll show them, and then he popped the balloons, and then they're like, oh god damn, he got us.
I couldn't get into that story because I couldn't figure out why. I mean, to me, a balloon isn't scary. And like, what is it? What makes it a spy balloon? Does it have a camera on it? Like, am I just like not thinking?
I mean, it sounds cool as shit. A spy balloon, It
kind of sounds dated to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It sounds like some whimsical, like fucking James Bond shit.
Yeah, like 1950s.
Yeah.
Like FBI.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to care about that stuff now. I'm just like, with politics, I'm so fucking bored. Like, the only thing that gives me hope is just like we need the Republican primaries to like get going, because that'll get really fun and interesting really quick. That was in the 2016 like Republican primaries or whatever, like that was the best time of my life looking back now. Just seeing Donald Trump and then the like Jeb Bush and whoever the fuck else was running at that time.
Justin was just pulling up an article about the balloon, basically saying that hackers collect far more information, which is kind of what I was thinking. I mean, like, how much info are you getting on the balloon versus technology?
Right. I'm
TikTok,
sure that they
whatever.
have like satellites that can look at like whatever the fuck they want. Like,
I'm sure they own half our government. But
yeah.
So you're talking about like the Republican primary?
Yeah, I want to know. Like, is it just gonna be like Trump versus DeSantis, basically?
I think so. And like with what we know now, people are saying Trump's slowly coming back with his old like funny, entertaining bits. I'm kind of getting over the politics as entertainment a little bit. Like. I kind of feel like we've seen it all, and I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. We're not going to keep topping whatever's going on, and everything's just fucking boring. And
I feel like we really need people's lives to improve, and like, I don't know, like the 2016-2020 era of just like talking about how much worse can they get or whatever is just like, I don't know. It's there is no bottom.
No.
So we got the primary. Trump is the clear leader. DeSantis used to be like 10% or something. So he's at 30.
Yeah, I read recently that Trump has been like. It must be his burns, Did you hear that DeSantis was like doing a book signing and he said that anyone with a Trump shirt wasn't allowed in?
Huh.
Yeah.
DeSantis is like not super interesting from what I have seen, so.
Yeah, I mean he's just like I think we talked about it once. I don't think he was an actual Navy SEAL, but he was like something similar to a Navy SEAL, like.
Gross.
Some kind of a...
I mean...
gross.
Oops. I mean, there's some cool Navy SEALs. Jesse Ventura, I like.
Hang on, who's Jesse Ventura? Oh, is that the guy who...
He's the one that sued Chris Kyle. He was the governor of Michigan, I think. Minnesota, yeah.
He's a pro wrestler?
Pro wrestler, yep.
And a Green Party guy?
Yeah, Jesse Ventura is pretty badass, actually. I mean, I'm not, like, necessarily his politics, but if you compare him to, like, most other politicians, I think he is, like, a true outsider, I think.
Yeah.
In a way. I don't know if he's running, but
wait, he was in Predator?
Yeah.
Was he like one of the? Oh yeah, okay, I know this guy. Oh wait, no, that's a different. That's a different Jesse Ventura, right? Yeah, I was gonna say that would be an odd.
No,
pick.
that is him.
That's the same guy.
It is. It's just a bad pick of him.
Well, I recognize that guy from Predator or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I've watched Predator like recently. What's your favorite like from that era, like of those like sci-fi?
The Thing, for sure.
The Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thing might be my favorite horror film. Or it is, I think. Like,
yeah.
It's just fucking great. The
I'm due for a rewatch of that. I've probably watched Escape from New York more recently than that, but I love that shit. Like the John Carpenter, all those movies that like kind of border on like horror, sci-fi in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
The Thing's amazing because it's a mystery film. Mm-hmm. It's got like the cool like isolation element, like they're in this frozen research facility.
Yeah.
It's also a monster film where you get to see the monster. It's not because most monster films prior to that were like Jaws, where you didn't see the shark until the end or whatever.
Right.
So The Thing was like horrifying, and it like was able to keep suspense up even though you're seeing the monster the entire time.
Right.
I think it's just like, I don't know, groundbreaking for the monster horror genre, and probably not been topped.
You still haven't seen Total Recall, right?
No, I've seen Total Recall.
Okay, never mind.
I haven't seen the remake.
One of my other friends hasn't seen it. Oh, fuck the remake. Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Have you seen the remake of The Thing?
I tried watching it one time.
bad.
Yeah.
It was like they did CGI instead of practical effects, and just not great.
Yeah, I remember turning it off, disappointed. How long have we been rolling?
54 minutes.
I say we're good on that.
Yeah. Did you want to touch on the Dilbert guy? What's his name? Scott Adams.
Did you hear about that, Justin?
Oh man.
I don't want to say anything incorrect. We could.
Scott Adams sort of had his, Roseanne Barr, I thought the bitch was white moment, but actually far worse. Scott
worse.
Adams, there was a poll of, I think it was like a Pew Research poll, like, do you agree with the statement, it's okay to be white, which is a, like, white nationalist phrase meant to troll, like, Black Lives Matter. And he used this poll to denounce all black people.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a video of Scott Adams, so the creator of Dilbert, and in the video he said, like, he's advising, like, white people, like, yeah, you should just, like, get away from black people. Like, they're a hate group. So there's been a lot of fallout from this. Elon Musk has come to his defense.
I think we were talking about, like, that's such a weird poll. Like, fucking why? Like, what?
Yeah, well, it's like, it's okay to be white. Like, if you were to ask me, well, like, do you agree with that sentiment?